Hi, everybody. It's Colette Baron-Reid and Sara Elise.
Hi, I'm Sara Elise.
Sara Elise is one of the best astrologers. She's an evolutionary astrologer as well as trained and one of the certified. It's hard to get certified by Deborah Silverman, just so you know. She has very high standards, and this woman is one of those. And she has graciously sat here with me today to talk with us all about your Astro Oracle reading for the week. So we're going to get going and start with Aries. Now, this is going to be interesting to see what you think about Aries. Okay. So these two cards represent, by the way, if your sun sign is Aries, you're going to read these two cards. Then you're going to choose your ascendant, if you know your ascendant. If you don't, go to astro.com, put all your birth data, and you're going to have all this information. So you're going to get 6 cards out of this reading. 2 for your sun, 2 for your ascendant, and then the last 2 for your moon. How does it work? I have no clue. It just does. All right, so we're going to start with Aries for this week. This week, upcoming Aries, Unfinished Symphony and Here and Now. Both cards are telling you that you need to stop, not exactly an Arian trait, to stop and look over what it is that is unfinished before you carry on and start something new. What do you think of that with Aries?
Well, Aries is very impulsive and it's action prone, so it tends to push forward without any reflection at all.
Yes.
So stopping and taking the time to look at what's going on is kind of counterintuitive.
Right, for an Aries.
It's not very natural, but it's so important. So you have to pull from the other parts of your chart to kind of slow down the machinery and ground in.
Awesome, awesome sauce. Okay, this is great. Mark, this, pay attention. Yeah, every week I say Mark and Victoria. Okay, now we're going to do Taurus. So these cards are in the protection position for Taurus. So it's chop wood and soulmates in the protection position. So with Taurus, this is about looking at your friendships and the work that you need to do within those friendships. And that means that sometimes it takes a little bit of work to get to know somebody, and you can't expect it to happen overnight. Now, Taurus doesn't mind that, right? They like slowing things down, don't they?
Well, they love it, but they can also get very rigid, right? Oh. They can also get very stubborn and want things their way. Ooh. So there's like a softening and an opening to embrace another person that is also part of that slowing down. Instead of like slowing down and going like this, you have to open and melt open.
So do you think that's the work, chop wood, right? That's difficult for the Taurus. That's the work that we're talking about.
That is the work, yeah, that is the work. Stopping your rigid viewpoint and the way you want it and allowing the soulmate energy to kind of show itself to you.
Oh, this is so good. I'm so excited. We're going to do this again with you. Okay, now we're going to do Gemini, Miss Double Gemini. So here we go. I'm going to choose. Actually, I'm going to get you to pick the Gemini cards, given you are the Gemini.
Okay,
just feel it.
Go.
Da, 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 da. Whichever 2 cards, you can't do it wrong.
Okay.
This is one.
Here.
Is this upright?
I'm going to take these just from you, and I'm just going to go.
Okay, this is good.
Because otherwise I won't be able to feel it. Okay, there we go. Take that one up.
Thank you, Missy.
You're welcome.
Oh my. Okay, so we have Happy Happy. I'll show these cards to you upright first. Happy Happy is this card, and To Be Fair is this card. Huh. Now they are in the protection position. So what that means is when Happy Happy is in the protection position, it means not to take yourself too seriously and start to be goofy, which isn't so hard for Geminis, but then you'll tell me why. And To Be Fair is also, this is about injustice. And in this context is when you'll notice that when To Be Fair is in the protection position, it asks you to look at injustices outside of yourself and recognize that they exist, that you don't actually say, oh, there's nothing going on. But in this case, it's if an injustice is done to you, you have to see the guffawing humor in it. Instead of, like, in other words, really don't take anything personally. Like everything is really not as big as you think. It's not such a big thing.
Okay, that's interesting. Because Gemini tends to kind of bleed itself into whatever it's around and lose itself, right? It will just, it kind of merges and it's always going, and whatever it becomes is whatever is in front of it. So I'm kind of feeling like that there's like a little bit of a pullback and an acknowledgement of your boundary and an acknowledgement that you don't have to become everything that's around you, right? The happy, 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 let's go, let's go, let's go. But to kind of say, wait a second, if they're hurting me or if something is coming at me that doesn't feel right, I have a right to sort of stop and take that seriously.
Ooh, I love this. A whole other take to this. I think this is fantastic.
That was that's kind of what hit me. But.
Yeah, no, that's really, and that actually is very accurate when you read it like that. So if we were to say to the Gemini, you know, sun, rising, or moon, this element of not bleeding in everywhere and not being the class clown, right? Because it is in protection, but it's also not to take yourself so seriously too, which is the Gemini's need to be everywhere with all things, with all people. I think that's the pullback here.
Okay. I don't understand the not take yourself so seriously part. Can you?
Okay, because she's a Gemini and it's about her.
I'm really trying to track this here. So
don't take it personally. It's more about don't take it so personally. Whatever the circumstance.
Don't become it.
Yeah, don't become it.
Got
exactly.
Got
okay,
it.
good. You're
done.
Good. This makes us all think more, right? Okay, now we're going to choose Cancer. Cancer, which is moi. Okay, so here we go. Also in protection. Here's round and round, opportunities to get something done again. Community also in the protection position. So for Cancers, you might not feel 1,000% comfortable in the moment. And also it is about moving on. It also is about, you know, when do you stay at the party too long? For Cancers, right? So that can also be that too. If this is, say for example, at the holiday, you know, when you know that you're walking into a really difficult set of circumstances that is like family, for example, and your family is really triggering you and your family is really dysfunctional and you know you have to have a beginning, middle, and an end and leave. This is about getting a new opportunity to do it differently. So you can, instead of stay too long and stay for the for the monumentous amount of victimization that's going to about to occur over turkey dinner. I mean, or whatever, you know, I mean, that's when it's you go somewhere new after, like you don't, right? What do you think?
So is it a going to somewhere new inside their psychological matrix?
It's always psychological matrix.
So yeah, so sidestepping the old pattern is very important to a Cancer because Cancer gets quite addicted to its patterns.
Yes.
And it likes to replay them, especially patterns from childhood. So yeah. And seeing the pattern that it is just a pattern is so important for Cancer too, isn't it? Because then it can take itself outside and see that it has the movement to flow, but still within its own little confined boundary.
And this is the evolutionary astrologer part. Okay, excellent. Here we go. Next, Leo. Very nice. Okay, isn't this fun? I'm loving this. Okay, ooh, 1 for Leo, 2 for Leo. And Leo's gonna go this way. Aha. Change in the wind and breathe. So a change in the wind means Leo is not in charge. So when this comes up, it means, oh boy, something is happening. It is not about me. It's not necessarily. Is it for me? Is it not for me? What is it? It's like it was not generated by either the magnanimity, generosity, or light of the Leo. It's happening anyway. And breathe is really, because breathe is in protection. You really got to get out of your own way. Get out of your way and allow for whatever is arising to happen, and to breathe and to relax into it. And you have what to say about that?
Well, Leo likes to be in charge, and it really likes to be the one on display, and the most important one in the right. So I guess just allowing and just breathing into what is actually the source of light within you, the source.
Yeah, this is great. Love it. And again, change in the wind. Leos don't like to lose charge of what's going on, and this is like it's not your circus. It's maybe your monkey, but feed the monkey, put it to sleep. Okay, now we're looking at Virgo, Miss Virgo. Let's go to Virgo. Okay, show me Virgo. Oh, here we go. Chaos and conflict and by the book in protection. Ooh. Things are stirred up already, Virgo. You can jump in and try to make order, given that things are in disarray, and it is an invitation for y'all to go in there. Both cards represent that like by the book, be rebellious, go in, you know, do something different, and chaos and conflict and protection is saying, hey, it's already been stirred up. You want to go and make order, go ahead. Invitation.
Great, so they can just do what they do naturally.
Which is a nice, Virgo's week is good so far. Yay, Virgo.
They love cleaning things up.
They love to clean things up, exactly. I know, you know, it was the funniest thing. We always got my chart wrong. Because the way we read my birth time was that I was a Virgo rising. And I would always say, my Virgo is broken. We never realized that I was actually Libra rising, which made total sense because I have no earth in my chart whatsoever. And so when people would be telling me all this organizational stuff and sacred and whatever, I'm looking at them going, no. Okay, we are now on Libra. Libra, Libra, Libra. Do not forget that you are in a partnership, Libras love partnership, with the higher power because you think you're out in the cold and maybe feeling a bit with yin in protection and higher power in protection, feeling like you are a little frozen. Right? So which is not a good feeling for a Libra. Libras like to be partnered. Libras like to feel. So this is a reminder that you have partnership. Partnership already exists in your life, and that should enable you to receive without controlling the way you receive. Any comments on Libra?
Yeah, I love that because it's the vertical axis that is the most important relationship for a Libra. And then the horizontal axis becomes easy and clear.
Explain that.
The vertical axis is your relationship to your higher self and to higher power. And so I guess this is just suggesting that this would be a great week for them to make sure that that's a really strong connection and that that's their
Anchor.
their first relationship.
Yeah, right. Their primary relationship,
primary,
exactly.
Yeah.
And so when you say horizontal, do you mean like the linear experience of life experience?
I mean like the horizontal, like when we come out into relationship with each other. This is the horizontal, but if my vertical is not really, really strong, then I project myself or I become you or I give myself away to you or else I have to pull myself back. And it's like this big game of push-pull with a Libra sometimes. So that's why they can feel a little discombobulated and out of balance, right?
Yeah, very good, very good. Libra, pay attention, and Libra rising, me. Now, that is true. Once you get your actual chart done right, you just know it's you. You just know it's you. Remember, when you subscribe to the channel, a little bell will come up, and if you click on that, you get a notification every week when these readings are up. So the Astro Oracle reading with my guest today, Sara Elise, the evolutionary astrologer and certified astrologer, and also that's it. Scorpio, my progressed moon is in Scorpio. Yum, yum. Okay, I'm going to ask you to pick for the Scorpio. The complex, deep, meaningful.
There's one.
Nothing superficial about
and here's another
Scorpio.
There we go.
You did it this way.
Wait,
so
wait,
it's
no,
this
it was
way.
up. It was upright.
Upright.
Okay.
Upright, yeah. Oh, fascinating. Okay, so the victim story, never-ending story. Hello. And the building blocks, which is fantastic because it's in protection. So this is not a week that it's predicted that you're going to have a victim story. It's actually a week that you're going to go look for the part, that it's a digging week, looking at the foundation of your life and going, I think I'm going to pull some of the rotten pieces out because I don't want that anymore. So it's not warning you that you're going to get into a victim story. It's more encouraging you to choose to go look. And Scorpios love to look under rocks. Right? It's like, what's in there? And so this is a wonderful, wonderful week to clean up a little bit more about that. And what do you have to say about that?
Well, yeah, that's what they love to do, the never-ending victim story. So going in, because Scorpio is that place where the personality and the soul meet.
Oh.
And so in the Scorpio archetype, the personality and the soul have a battle. And the soul comes in and tries to overtake the personality just by loving it. So I think it's really important for Scorpios always to remember that they can do that deep dive and that look into the shadow, but with love.
Oh, yes, because Scorpio likes to bring their stinger in there. Yeah. Yes, and sting themselves.
Yes.
Yes, I know. Yes, yes, yes. So that's really a good reminder for Scorpios this week, Scorpio rising or Scorpio moon, to bring in that love if you're going to look under the rock. Right? Bring in the love regardless of what you find. Oh, that's beautiful. This is our best one yet. This is so good. Okay, you're coming back. Okay, Sag.
Yay!
Sag.
I love Sagittarius. We're in the month of Sagittarius.
So we love Sagittarius. Yay.
Okay,
so
actually,
you pick. Well, you pick it. You're the astrologer.
Okay.
I'm not responsible for the cards.
Here you go.
Thank you. This way's upright.
Ooh, this one here. I like this one. All right.
Yeah, I always find entering into Sagittarius, and that's probably why the season, the holiday season, is so happy. We get really like, yay, it's so good, because it's a friendly sign. It's a sign, let's philosophize and hang out with people. And, you know, and be friendly and happy and joyous and free before we get serious at Christmas right after, because we're thinking about the new year in Capricorn, which is great. So go the distance in protection, which means don't quit for the Sag this week. And come to the edge. So I think that's like saying, hey, keep pushing the boundaries. Sagittarius can do that in conversation. They're the ones that speak things that most people, they're blunt. They say shit. You know, it's like, blah, right? And this is a good thing to do this week.
Totally.
Don't hold back.
Don't hold back. Don't be afraid of hurting someone's feelings. Just kind of go for it and trust that your perspective is a higher perspective for a reason.
Yes.
You see the big picture. Sagittarius is about the big umbrella, the big scope from up on top. So yeah, it's important to exercise that.
Love that. This is so fun. Okay. That was Sag. Now let's go to Capricorn. Actually, one of my favorite signs, because I, as a Cancer being its opposite, I always feel very grounded and I want to get going. In Capricorn, that's when I want to make lists and make shit happen. Oh, okay. Mending is in protection and orphaned. This is interesting because for Cappies this week, we could be resisting the forgiveness, because Capricorns can be a bit capricious, right? So there's, I want to hold on to a grudge. This is not the week to hold on to grudges. This is a week to really also forgive yourself for your lack of perfection, which doesn't exist, period, right? And not getting everything done perfectly. And also that little bit of a need to be on your own, to self-reflect about that. Also, one of the opportunities that comes with these two cards together, Mending and Protection and Orphaned Upright, is the fact that we have all been wounded. And it is for the Capricorn, it's to admit that to yourself, because the sense of being vulnerable makes you feel that alone is a wound. Like, oh my God, if I'm going to be vulnerable, I will be wounded right now. And so to drop that hardness a little bit is what it's suggesting this week, to be a little softer.
Yeah, for sure, because I think Capricorn can just get so caught up in the doing and in the hierarchies around it that it forgets that it is its own authority as well sometimes. So it kind of gives itself away to the system and gives itself away to its to-do list or to its function in society. And so like the orphan card really feels like it has to pull in, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
It has to pull in. And it has to reacquaint itself with, oh, I love this one, like, who's your daddy? Like, who's your real?
Who's your daddy?
It's such a Capricorn
okay, we won't
thing
go
to say.
there. Yeah, it is. All righty, Aquarius. Aquarius. Okay. You were in that hair. Yes, you were. Okay, so observer in protection and regeneration. So the observer in the protection means that your life is suction cupped onto the end of your nose, Aquarius. That means that you can't see past yourself. And it's interesting because Aquarius is typically the 11th house. It's really about others. It's very humanitarian. It's very, let's make it better for everybody. But this week it could be all about what you want to make happen and regenerate and bring back to life. And instead, what I'd like you to do is to step back a little bit into that observer, into less of a personalized viewpoint of what you want to see regenerate.
Yeah, it is the opposite of Leo. So don't forget that within every Aquarius there is a Leo who wants to be in control and has ultimate confidence in itself and its viewpoint. It's a fixed sign. So for it to pull back and reevaluate its own stand, its own point of view is very important for it.
My mother was an Aquarius and my father was a Leo. I can, and I'm, yeah, wow. Yes, lots of lessons there.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a deep and meaningful week for all the signs, for us to all kind of let ourselves be a bit vulnerable. And I think the only one that's enjoying themselves is Virgo. Oh, well, here comes Pisces, between worlds and cleaning it up. So you can't move forward until you clean shit up. So this is really about having that completion of whatever you started doing to clean things up, instead of leaving it for like, squirrel over there's something better, right? It's like, oh, I'm between worlds over, you know, like, and coming back going, oh, that wasn't done. So this is about being really conscious of that. You laugh.
Well, it's because you did such a good job of describing Pisces. But within every Pisces is a Virgo.
Right, Virgo.
So cleaning it up, you just have to dig a little deeper and be really caught up in the details, perhaps, like focus on the real world.
I love that you say that, because you know, when you think about astrology, when you guys come and you get your readings every week, the day after we do the 6-card reading, we don't think that in every sign there are other signs. We think that the signs are so distinct from the other that we don't realize that when you look at the whole chart, for example, and you see how everybody plays inside, you know, we all have a little bit of everybody, but the opposite signs are specific. And I've learned that a lot. Even listening to you today, I'm reminded, yes, like in every Cancer there's a Capricorn, every Capricorn is a Cancer. And we don't particularly like that other experience, but we need it. But we need it. Yeah, this is great. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yes, we shall be doing this again with your permission.
Absolutely.
Okay.
It would be my honor.
Where can people find you?
Sara Elise Astrology.com. SARAELISE Astrology.com.
Yes, and she comes highly recommended. And I am on her waiting list, just so y'all know. So get behind me. All right, thanks. If you like this video, which I know you must have liked this video, this is such a great video, share it with your friends. Like the video, like my page, leave a comment. We love reading them, and I will see you next week.